By almost any measure, Riverbanks Zoo and Garden is a treasured place of regional and national significance. Recognized today as one of America's best zoos, the concept of Riverbanks Zoo and Garden began in the early 60s as the dream of a few business leaders. While their specific dream never materialized, their effort served as the catalyst behind all that followed.
There actually had been a movement, I think around 1964. A group of local businessmen had a dream to build a small zoo for the children of Columbia. They attempted to raise money to build that zoo. Unfortunately, that effort failed. However, it was during that time that Stan Smith, who owned at the time Constan Car Wash, and was one of the people who was instrumental in trying to bring that first zoo to Columbia, purchased, which you could not do today, but purchased a tiger from the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago, bought her to the car wash, and Happy was a living symbol of the hopes and dreams of people to have a zoo in Columbia.
We were sitting at home on a Sunday evening watching Marlin Perkins' Wild Kingdom, and an Esso commercial came on that said, "Put a tiger in your tank. Happy motoring." And I could see the light in Dad's head go off. And the next morning, Monday morning, he called Marlin Perkins and told him he was interested in procuring a tiger for the Columbia Zoo.
Before long, the young tiger cub arrived and took up residence in her new home outside of the car wash, becoming the main fundraiser for the future zoo and a Columbia celebrity in the process.
Having grown up in Columbia, I hear those stories, and I even remember putting money at the Constan Car Wash in the early days as a child to help raise money for the zoo with Happy the Tiger.
Those little coin containers that the kids filled up really brought a realism to the zoo effort, and I think that's what made it work. I really do.
I have to say a word to the Smith family. You know, they had Happy the Tiger at the car wash, and from there it went to a modern day zoo. I think is a testament to their vision and the vision of the community then.
Everybody knew Happy. People would go to the car wash, take their children to see Happy. So she was a very key part of the Riverbanks history.
Happy's legacy lives on in a beloved photo op that greets delighted visitors just inside the zoo's entrance. The sculpture was donated by Stan Smith.
I think Happy just makes people happy. You know, Dad had a statue made so that people could remember Happy and kids can enjoy it. And, you know, we just saw a kid get on it and take a picture, and that's exactly what he would have wanted if he were still here today.
Contrary to the idea of building a children's zoo, Riverbanks Zoo's first director, John Mertens, was a visionary who was determined to build a professionally designed and operated zoo. In his quest to build a perfect zoo, Mertens went to great lengths to be involved in every decision in detail, from exhibit design and housing animals to guest amenities and staff uniforms. Despite numerous cynics, construction delays, and cost overruns, Riverbanks Zoo opened on April 25th, 1974.
When the zoo opened, people were basically shocked at the size, scope, and quality of what had been built in Columbia. And they embraced it very quickly, realizing that finally Columbia had something quite unique and quite nice.
While visitors continued to enjoy the impressive new zoo, financial stability was an ongoing concern. Nearly 2 years later, Mertens left the zoo due to a growing funding crisis. On August 7, 1976, at age 26, Riverbanks General Curator Satch Krantz was hired as the zoo's second director. Riverbanks continued to struggle financially until June 1980, when Richland and Lexington counties became critical funding partners along with the blossoming privately funded Riverbanks Society. Finally, the zoo was able to focus on the future and in 1986 secured a $6.5 million bond issue to build a new entrance, aquarium reptile complex, and educational center, providing much needed stepping stones to advance Riverbanks' mission of education and conservation.
We feel like our conservation initiatives, what we give back to the community, is significant in terms of education and an impact that we have on not just the local community, but for the state, is countless.
Over the following decades, Riverbanks stretched across the Saluda River to develop a botanical garden and became the #1 tourist destination in South Carolina and a powerful economic engine for the Midlands.
Riverbanks Zoo is number one. I used to say it's our Boeing here in Columbia. I mean, Riverbanks Zoo, the fact that it is a world-renowned zoo that people come in and experience it. It is not only an economic driver for the city of Columbia, but it also is just a really great attraction for that makes it a great place to live.
Anyone raising children, not just here in the Midlands, but across the state and across the Southeast, knows the treasure that Riverbanks is. I mean, I love telling my friends in the Low Country in Charleston and Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach that know the #1 tourist attraction in the state is actually right here in the Midlands of South Carolina.
I am most proud that Riverbanks is the #1 tourist attraction in the Midlands, in the state of South Carolina. And you can come visit our parking lot anytime and see cars from all around the country.
I think it means a lot, not just to Columbia as one of the largest attractions here, but also statewide as in terms of being a zoo. It adds to the attraction for those who may be on the way to the coast, a place to stop and see the zoo along the way, but also those that are destinations in Columbia for whatever reason here as a visitor. Gives them something wonderful here to do.
I do remember the birth of the zoo, and I've enjoyed the expansion of the zoo from where it started. The zoo is an incredible, magnificent facility, and it's not only important to Casey, West Columbia, and Columbia in the Midlands, but it's important to the state of South Carolina, and it's recognized nationally.
Everyone can agree that Riverbanks Zoo and Garden is a wonderful place to visit, yet everyone has their own opinion about their favorite part.
I love to see the kids coming in off the buses, teachers getting all excited, and then just a general crowd that is excited about coming in and seeing the animals and taking in all they can take in.
It's always a delight to see exhibits like this and animals from around the world. You may not have ever been able to travel to Africa, but you can come here and see animal wildlife.
Children, just to see their eyes when they go through the gates of the zoo. My youngest grandson, he would rather be there than anywhere else in the world. He loves animals in the zoo. It gives families an opportunity to share an experience together, to learn together, to be outdoors together.
I think the most fun thing for me of going to Riverbanks is that I'm always being able to experience something new. And now I'm a mom. My favorite thing is just really looking at the zoo through the eyes of my kids. Every single time we go and they light up. They love it and they love to go back every single time because it's never the same trip.
Over the decades, Riverbanks Zoo and Garden has become a leader in animal care and conservation, thanks to an incredibly dedicated, compassionate, and skilled staff. Scientific advancements and gold star professional standards of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums have underscored Riverbanks' efforts to remain at the forefront of the zoo industry. From head-starting and reintroducing endangered gopher frogs back into the wild to caring for vulnerable corals threatened by disease, Riverbanks continues to do its part to ensure that wildlife and wild places can thrive into the future.
I really wonder if those who planted the seeds for Riverbanks Zoo 50 years ago really knew that it would grow into the very special and unique treasure that it is today.
Nobody ever dreamed it would be what it is today. We thought it would be an asset and be something for the local community, but for it to have grown and the vision that people who have been involved in the zoo is just something that's incredible and something that we're extremely proud of.
He was thrilled with that. As you can see, I mean, the idea to, from many different angles, help his business out, of course, but also help the zoo with the fundraising at the very beginning. It was just a great stroke of genius that he often had. He just had the ability to think outside the box, as they say, and come up with things that nobody else was thinking of. It's rare, but he could do it.
Tommy and the ones before him have done such a good job of thinking ahead and preparing for growth and letting that growth be something that would really benefit the zoo and the people of the Midlands and the others.
It's really an honor for us to be, have had some part in it.
We're
just very impressed.
Their vision back then was unlike anything else. What they were thinking this zoo could be, it became.
Under the direction of the zoo's third director, Tommy Stringfellow, Riverbanks begins its next chapter with a bold new vision for the future, Bridge to the Wild. The plan is designed with the aim of transporting guests to places where they can experience animals as close to their natural habitat as possible. The privately funded first phase of Bridge to the Wild includes the immersive southern white rhino habitat and the highly anticipated, reimagined Aquarium and Reptile Conservation Center.
This facility is really the heart of Riverbanks in so many ways, both physically in its location and also in the fact that most of our conservation work and our conservation impact here in the Midlands is stationed right out of this building.
A new Komodo dragon breeding facility also is expected to open late spring 2024. The expanded space will allow the zoo to house more dragons and possibly baby dragons in the future.
I was excited when I got here, but I am super excited about what the future holds. We are expanding our campus even more. We're adding more exhibits. We're able to take on some more threatened and critically endangered animals to our collection, which is critical for us to find ways that we can continue contributing back.
Looking further into the future of Phase 2 of Bridge to the Wild, Riverbanks plans to highlight the river that runs between its east and west campus, thanks to a bond issue approved by Richland and Lexington counties. The development will feature a one-of-a-kind restaurant and meeting space overlooking the Saluda, walking trails that meander through a primate forest, and a South Carolina nature preserve where guests can see native endangered species up close, such as black bears, bald eagles, and red wolves. A skyway gondola will give riders unparalleled scenic views of the river and the Columbia landscape.
Well, I can't tell you how many days I spent looking across the river from the zoo side, wondering what we could do over there. It's a unique piece of property, and I think when that opens up, it's just going to be, it's going to have as big an impact on Riverbanks as anything's ever had. I think it's a great plan.
And the gondolas going across the river, I think it's just going to be an incredible facility. It is, as I said, known nationally now, and I think it will be known worldwide once all of that expansion takes place.
My hope is that we continue to think big about what the zoo is and what it should be and what it could mean for the people in the Midlands or the people literally from all across this country who rely on the zoo 50 years from now.
Riverbanks has meant so much to so many in the last 50 years, from employees and business leaders to the families that have grown up with the zoo and now take their children and grandchildren as well.
Since I've been here, there's a new generation that were in their 8 and 9-year-old, and now they're in the 28, 29-year-olds that have kids that said that they came when they were young and their parents or grandparents told me they came when they were young. It's just incredible to hear the generations after generations that continue coming to Riverbanks and supporting Riverbanks.
Being a member of the commission is just a highlight of my life. The experiences we've had, the growth we've had, the members that we've had, and the dedication that the commission members give in support of what Tommy and his staff are doing to help prosper Riverbanks Zoo and Garden. And come visit us soon.
All of our projects mean a lot, and if we're making a connection out there and we're having someone do something better for our earth or to contribute to a project, then we're doing our part.
I would encourage everyone to go and visit the zoo. I mean, the constant process of innovation and iteration, how things are just changing at the zoo and growing in such meaningful ways. Every time I've gone to the zoo, there's something new and something different happening there. Riverbanks is cool. Riverbanks is exciting. Riverbanks is innovative. Riverbanks is ours.
Can you imagine yourself doing anything else?
Not at all. Not at all. I was blessed that I was able to step into this world of zoos and aquariums from where I came from. And I'm planning on being here for year 100. So we'll see how that goes.
Happy birthday to Riverbanks. We're thrilled you're doing so well.